Last winter, Demi Guo and several Stanford computer science PhD classmates spent their winter break trying to make a movie using generative AI. Buzzy AI video editor startup Runway, which had just hit a $500 million valuation, was offering a $10,000 prize for the best submission to its inaugural AI film festival, and they were confident they had a shot. But Guo's team didn't even place. "We were the most technical team, but we really struggled to make the film," she told Forbes. While recent AI breakthroughs had been promising, bringing them to bear on the video making process itself proved exceedingly cumbersome for Guo, who poured hours into tools like Runway and Adobe's Photoshop with middling success and great frustration. In the end, the awards went to professional creatives. "It just didn't look that good," she says of the film. "I was so frustrated." So in April, Guo and Zhenlin Meng, a fellow PhD student, dropped out of Stanford to launch Pika to build an easier-to-use AI video generator. Since then, some 500,000 people have tried the software, and it's now being used to create millions of new videos each week. That explosion in interest has sent Silicon Valley investors into a frenzy, and the four-person startup has raised $55 million across 3 funding rounds in quick succession. The first 2 were led by former GitHub CEO Nat Friedman, and the latest $35 million Series A from Lightspeed Venture Partners values Pika Labs at between $200 million and $300 million, according to a source with direct knowledge of the matter. "We're trying to redesign the interface of video making," said Guo, who serves as the company's CEO. "It's still very hard to make good videos." Pika's video generation tool has so far only been available through the social messaging app Discord. Users type text into a chat box, for example, a robot walking on the beach at sunset, and receive an AI-generated video as a chat reply. On Tuesday, Pika brought that experience to the web, and a massive new mainstream audience, with a new app and features to allow for the editing and customizing of objects within a video, adding sunglasses to the aforementioned robot, for example. Nat Friedman, who has emerged as one of the leading solo investors in the AI space since he departed GitHub in 2021, first invested in Pika back in April. He told Forbes he was impressed by an early demo version that Guo and Meng had cobbled together using a single graphics processing unit, GPU, the hardware chips which power most AI computing tasks. Friedman and frequent coinvestor Daniel Gross have amassed a 2,500-plus GPU cluster they call Andromeda, which they make available to startups in which they invest. That help supercharge Pika's efforts to build a proprietary AI model for video, similar to OpenAI's text-based GPT-4 or Midjourney's image-based models. In its early days, Pika focused only on generating anime. The founders told Friedman that taking on AI generation of realistic videos would be too difficult, given that larger well-funded companies like Runway and Stability AI already had significant head starts, like. Then, there was Adobe, a $280 billion public market behemoth that was moving quickly to add AI functionality to Creative Suite. But Guo and Meng's rapid pace of development surprised investors and themselves. One summer afternoon, Friedman suggested they add a way to embed text into videos. He received a text message back at 3 a.m. saying the feature was ready. Friedman recalls being shocked initially, but he soon realized this very intense pace was typical of the team. "It was part of what persuaded me to do the next investment," he says. Lightspeed partner Michael Mignano, who invested in September, sees this as a crucial edge for Pika. "A startup's biggest weapon and biggest advantage is speed, and this is honestly the fastest moving team I've ever seen," he told Forbes. The information was first to report that Lightspeed was in talks to invest. Indeed, within weeks of Pika's founders telling Friedman realistic video was far too difficult a task for them to pull off, they did just that. And when Mignano brought up the idea of a web app earlier in November, Guo took it as a directive to deliver the product that same month. "We're not trying to build a product for film production. What we're Trying to do is something more for everyday consumers. Pika is now leasing a few hundred GPUs, some from Friedman's Andromeda cluster, some from other cloud providers, which it used to build a new version of the AI model it debuted today. It's meant to perform better and allow for more refined editing, adjusting the aspect ratio of a video, for example. Meanwhile, the company is hard at work, tinkering with algorithms to further improve the model, and also developing ones for filtering copyrighted materials that have tripped up rivals and dragged them into costly IP litigation. Right now that's still very exploratory, Guo said. With new funding in hand, Guo says she plans to expand Pika's team to about 20 people next year, most of them engineers and researchers. Monetizing the product, which is currently free, isn't a key priority yet, though she says the company may eventually introduce a tiered subscription model, pay more for access to more features, for consumers. That's also how Guo plans to differentiate Pika from its bigger rivals. We're not trying to build a product for film production, she told Forbes. What we're trying to do is something more for everyday consumers, people like me and men who are creators at heart, but not that professional. If there had been a tool like Pika a year ago, Guo says her Stanford team might have had a fighting chance in the AI Film Festival. I think it definitely would have helped a lot, she said.